4s die in Gaza school mosque attack.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us on the news at 7, coming to you live from Osrc Television. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced distribution of non-sensitive materials to the 18 local government areas ahead of the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State. The Resident Electoral Commission, Oluwatoyin Babalola, in a statement said the Commission would use the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System (BVAS) for accreditation and the INEC Result Viewing Portal (IREV) for the transmission of the election results. Addressing the media on the preparations for the election, Babalola also said over 2 million eligible voters would determine the fate of 17 governorship candidates on November 16. According to her, a large percentage of the non-sensitive election materials required for the election have been received and deployed to the 18 local government offices, where they are batched at resident area center and polling unit levels. She added that the electoral umpire was working closely with relevant security agencies and stakeholders to ensure safe storage and timely distribution of these materials on the eve of the election. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu says his administration currently is not thinking of the next election holding in 2027, but the posterity of the next generation. The president made this known during the All Progressives Congress APC Southwest Zone Assembly in Lagos and hosted by the chairman, Southwest Governors Forum, Lagos Governor Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. President Tinubu, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, explained that he was pained due to the hardships in the land as a result of very tough decisions taken by his administration, but promises there is light at the end of the tunnel. The president, who noted that the country's challenges were diverse, assured that his concern remains the progress of Nigeria, promising that he will continue to do the bidding of the people. In another development, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative has unveiled 7 centers where commercial transporters can convert their petrol-powered vehicles to CNG in Ekiti State. The official unveiling of the centers and handing over of 15 CNG-powered buses to the state government in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State capital, urged commercial transporters in the state to visit the centers to convert their vehicles free of charge. He explained that the CNG initiative is cheaper, more convenient and safer compared to petrol, noting that the administration of President Bola Tinubu is determined to energize the economy through the initiative, which he said would create jobs and enhance sustainable development. Oluwagbemi, who stated that the administration is targeting 1 million vehicle conversions to CNG by the year 2027, added that no fewer than 125 centers have been opened across the country. The Nigerian government has officially launched its Naira for crude sale agreement with Dangote Refinery effective October 1, 2024. This announcement was made by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edo, in a statement shared on the Ministry's Finances official X handle. According to the minister, key stakeholders convened on October 3, 2024 to conduct a post-commencement review of the crude oil and refined product sales in Naira initiative. Emphasized that the initiative aligns with the directive from the Federal Executive Council. However, petroleum marketers and industry analysts have suggested that the deal could lead to a reduction in fuel pump prices as local sales in Naira may ease currency pressures and benefit Nigeria's energy supply chain. Elsewhere, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alaki, has cautioned against arbitrary closure of mining operations, by the government warning that such act could abort efforts by the federal government to attract foreign direct investments. Alake gave the warning while announcing a fact-finding committee headed by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Dr. Mary Ogbe, to probe the claims and counter-claims by the Osrc State Government and the private firm Segilola Resources Operating Limited over taxation and operational matters. In a statement by his Special Assistant on Media, Segun Tomori in Abuja, Alake warned that mining operations and regulations are the exclusive rights of the federal government and not the subnationals. He stressed that any cessation of industrial production will undermine the goals of economic prosperity, deny workers the opportunity to earn income, and further contribute to adversity. The minister reiterated the federal government's interest in the raising of the tempo of productive activities nationwide to boost economic growth, increase employment, and community development. The vibrant spirit of tradition again resonated through the ancient town of Akure, Ondo State, as locals celebrated the 2024 Ulefunta Festival, honoring their heritage and reinforcing their bonds. This year's festivities featured a rich tapestry of performances, royal rites, and communal prayers, led by the Deji of Akure, Oba Aladetoyinbo Aladelusi, who has guided his people in a time of peace, reconciliation, and thanksgiving. Omoshilola Adesoye Ajayi reports that the festival also marked the Deji's return from a ceremonial seclusion known as Ulefunta, adding that to the significance of the occasion. The reports.
The Ulefunta Festival in Akure, the Ondo State capital, came alive this year, celebrating the rich traditions of the community and honoring the Deji of Akure, Oba Aladetoyinbo Aladelusi. This cultural ceremony, steeped in history, marks the Deji's return from a period of rest. This year's festival served as a vibrant platform to showcase Akure's cultural heritage, allowing families to reunite and reflect on the community's progress. During the festivities, the Deji's presence underscored the strong bond between the monarchy and the people, with special prayers for the kingdom's well-being led by culture chiefs and various groups. Other monarchs present recognized the cultural significance of Ulefunta and encouraged attendees to view it as more than just a festival.
People of Akure to rally around campaigns to promote the festival. Festival in place for the good and uplifting of the that's a very good impact that we're talking about.
Sons and daughters of Akure expressed that the festival serves as a vital reminder of tradition, unity, and peace within the community.
We're hearing of Calabar Carnival and so on and so forth. Why can't we have our own state carnival? We have a lot of cultural heritages here and there, and we can really develop to actually develop our own state economically.
In In addition to celebrations, the festival also included the installation of Mrs. Esther Badmos as Yeye Arobake of Akure Kingdom, highlighting its multifaceted nature beyond mere merriment. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
Government at all levels have been encouraged to value and support older persons through inclusive policies and practices. This was the consensus as this year's National Day of Older Persons held in Akure with the theme, Help the Aged. Reporter Olumidia Idowu reports that the event featured elderly people across the 18 local government areas of the state, and the report is presented from our studios.
The National Day of Older Persons is a global observance designated by the United Nations to honor the role of older people in society. The federal government designated every 5th of October through the National Senior Citizen Center as a day to celebrate the National Day of Older Persons. The day is aimed to raise awareness about the opportunities and challenges of aging population and advocate policies that improve their well-being. Co-chairman Ondo State National Senior Citizen Center Steering Committee on Aging, Mr. Adi Ayenin, said the day is focused on strengthening the protection of senior citizens' rights to dignity, care, participation, and self-fulfillment. He also encouraged society to value and support older persons through inclusive policies and practices.
The National Citizen Center, through the Ondo State Steering Committee on Aging, and those in the other 35 states in the country and the FCT, have put a mechanism together to enhance the social welfare of our elders in various forms, and the corporate mandate of the center is focused on strengthening the protection of senior citizens' rights to dignity, independence, care, security, participation, and self-fulfillment. The objective of this structure is to build partnerships and networks through stakeholders cooperation.
The patron of the body, Senator Bodiola Jumoke, who spoke through Reverend Nelson Fadoju, charged the organization to collaborate with government agencies, NGOs, private organizations to have robust engagement with older persons and community groups for effective results.
As we celebrate, let us acknowledge the challenges faced by older persons. We must work together to ensure their rights, dignity, safety, and adequate social care.
One of the pioneer members of the organization, Dr. Amos Omoresimi, thanked the steering committee for upholding the body.
Here at the beginning, we began in 1995. We are here today, and then we say thank you for taking care of. I will be the one running up and down before it will be done. But now you are picking up. God will be with you. Thank you.
High point of the event was free medical checkups and health talks on how to live a healthy life.
You're watching the news at 7, coming to you live from Osrc Television. We'll go on this break. When we return, we'll serve you more stories. Please don't go away. Thank you for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Grand Capital Hotel has hosted a cocktail party in Akure to express gratitude to its valued customers. At the event, CEO Henry Agbaje assured customers of enhanced quality and service at the hotel. Joy Pius provides further details. Grand Capital Hotel has proudly marked 7 years in the hospitality industry, providing value to customers, creating job opportunities, and contributing to government revenue. To express gratitude for client patronage, the hotel's administrator organized a cocktail party for esteemed customers. The Chief Executive Officer, Henry Agbaji, thanked the people for their unwavering support and promised continued quality service, inviting feedbacks on areas for improvement.
As you know, knowing your customers is a key index in whatever we do. We're also using the opportunity today, personally, for us to be able to meet our customers, to appreciate them, one. Secondly, to be able to get their feedback on how we are doing and how we can do it better. Get to know their needs and service them accordingly.
Operations Manager Elijah Akinlalu emphasized the hotel's commitment to ensuring customer satisfaction and delivering value for money.
We are going to be working with a watchword called SEND. The S for security, E for efficient service, N for a neat and cozy environment, and the D for a disciplined staff, so that our service is going to be a top-notch to our esteemed guests.
Guests, including representatives from various organizations, praised the hotel management for consistently meeting expectations in the hospitality sector.
Their welfare is actually nice, and the first time I walked into the reception, the feedback I got was actually impressive, which is why I keep coming over and over again. It's a nice plan. It shows that behind closed doors or behind the scene, at least they have a support system behind them, which is actually impressive. I like that. Yeah, we are not just left behind. It shows that they are carrying us along.
They are doing well in terms of interpersonal relationship with a partner. So I've known this place since about 6 years ago, and the program I was then I'd been using here, and we really love their service. So even the partners supporting my program in the States, they like Grand Capital as a hotel.
Since opening in May 2017, Grand Capital Hotel has become a leading establishment in Akure, offering top-notch hospitality services to the community. Joy Pius, Osrc News. It's now a decade since the passing of renowned journalist Martins Akinwale Oshodi. In memory of his legacy and 10 years remembrance, the widow of the late journalist Bukola Oshodi has launched a non-governmental organization, God's Will Foundation, to support widows and the vulnerable in society. Osrc Sayida Ibisela reports that the official launch of the foundation was attended by well-wishers who offered glowing tributes about late Martins Akinwale Oshodi.
Late Martins Akinwale Oshodi, a former staff of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, was an unmistakable voice behind the microphone with standout presentation style. His sojourn on earth was, however, cut short with his demise on October the 5th, 2014. Now 10 years after his passing, family, friends and colleagues came together at the residence of the late Martins Akinwale Oshodi to remember his life and legacy. The rendition of hymns set the tone of reflection for the gathering as emotional tribute from neighbors, fellow churchgoers and family took center stage.
He's very good man, nice man. In fact, care to anybody who want any better.
Even though he was a superior, but he's a very good man. He took care of us till his death. So
I know he's a diligent person. He doesn't stay that much at home because I think he was an advisor to the governor then. So most of the time he's not around. But as soon as he got to this street, he was the one that graded this road.
As part of the 10 years remembrance activities, the event marked the launch of God's Will Foundation in honor of the late Martins Akinwale Oshodi. According to the widow, Mrs. Bukola Oshodi, the foundation is a testament to his legacy of compassion and a resolve to empower widows and less privileged individuals with resources to thrive.
This Will Foundation that we launched today is to help the widows spiritually and financially. The widows, the less privileged, and the orphans in the society, in our society, and to let them know that there is still hope for them. I want to use my experience to let them know that there is still hope for them.
In his exhortation, Pastor Benga Adeoye addressed the gathering, encouraging widows and the family to rise above life's challenges.
You need to rise up in any place where you find yourselves. Okwo is not a sin.
Guest speaker at the event, evangelist Adetutu Adedeji, who delivered a lecture on widowhood and its challenges, urged those affected to remain strong and steadfast in their faith.
You have to be hardworking because God does not work in a vacuum. God is not a magician. He asked Moses, what is in your hand? He said, a rod. Use that rod to deliver the children of Israel. So all the people that God helped in the Bible, they had one thing or the other. For instance, Ruth had determination and courage and faith in Naomi.
The chairman, Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ondo State Council, Leke Adegbite, represented by Fatima Muraina, described the late Oshodi as a mentor who supported his colleagues.
He will encourage me because I saw him as somebody, a mentor. But I know his legacy will live on.
In a display of support, the God's Will Foundation distributed cash gifts to 10 widows, offering them much-needed assistance and encouragement.
What I heard today encouraged me, especially because I always think this is 8 years that my husband is late, leaving me with the pregnancy of the 4th baby.
Special prayers for the Oshodi family were rendered, invoking blessings and strength as they continue their journey without their beloved Akinwale. The God's Will Foundation now stands as a beacon of hope for many. Sahira Ribisala, OSRC News.
And to this one, reaching us, Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has inspected some areas, including Itanla, affected by the recent flash floods in Ondo Kingdom. Governor Aiyedatiwa, who was returning from Lagos State, where he attended the Southwest Assembly of the APC, was taken around the affected spots by the Commissioner for Environment, Oyeni Oseni, in company of another senior aide of the governor. Aiyedatiwa expressed sadness over the unfortunate incident, said no efforts will be spared to prevent reoccurrence. He appealed to residents of the state not to drop debris on waterways and drainages so as to allow free flow of water. The governor promised government support for victims of the unfortunate incident. Okagbe community in Akoko Northwest local government area of Ondo State saw a large turnout for the funeral of late Mrs. Folashade Akonde. Children expressed their fond memories of her, highlighting her love and understanding as key traits that will be remembered. Omoriola Ogbenji provides details of the event.
St. George's Anglican Church in Okeagbe Akoko was filled with dignitaries celebrating the life of 86-year-old Mrs. Folashade Akonde, who was laid to rest amidst a festive atmosphere. Various choirs performed, adding to the event's glamour, while the joyful dancing reflected the community's admiration for the late Iyaegbe Omolayo, who lived a life worthy of emulation. Her remains were intact as her children paid tribute, highlighting her impact on their lives.
She loved education so well, and I brought it in my tribute. Though she was an illiterate, but she valued education more than a professor.
Because of her love and because of her protection, it gave me that confidence when I was growing up.
So therefore, and the same love she had for all of us growing up, but at the same time, she doesn't joke with discipline. She makes sure that we are brought up in a very good and godly manner.
They should emulate her legacy because I personally, my mama put a fight against her mother. Women should go far, to go to any length to make sure their children become somebody.
I miss her so much, so much, because when Mama, anytime he comes, she's always there for me, most especially when I'm having my babies. She's the one giving me the necessary helping hand.
This woman has set a legacy down for me that I will never forget. And I even continue to pray that when this woman come back, if it is possible for her to come back to this earth in millions time, she's going to remain my mother, because she is my mission. She's everything to my life.
Born on December 18, 1937, into the Famuagun family in Okeagbe, late Mrs. Akonde was married to her late husband, Modupe Akonde, a successful businesswoman. She passed away on June 11, 2024, leaving behind a legacy of support for her family. Omoriola Humbiji, OSRC News.
Moving on to the foreign scene, Mozambique is gearing up for a pivotal election that will mark a significant shift in the country's leadership. For the first time, the ruling Frelimo party is fielding a presidential candidate who was born after Mozambique gained independence from Portuguese rule in 1975. Daniel Schaper, the charismatic 47-year-old candidate, is leading Frelimo's charge as the party looks to maintain power after 49 years of dominance. His youth and outsider status have drawn large crowds at campaign rallies, offering hope to voters tired of Frelimo's long rule, marred by corruption scandals such as the notorious tuna bond debacle, which triggered the country's worst economic crisis. As Mozambique heads to the polls on Wednesday, the presidential, parliamentary and gubernatorial elections will determine whether Schaper's promise to change can resonate with voters or if allegations of fraud will undermine the democratic process. Gaza Health Ministry has revealed that at least 26 Palestinians have been killed and many others wounded after Israeli forces attacked a mosque and a school sheltering displaced people in central Gaza's Deir el-Balah. The ministry said the overall death toll since the war on Gaza began a year ago has reached 41,870, with 97,166 Palestinians injured. In a statement, the Israeli military claimed, without providing evidence, that the mosque and school were being used by Palestinian group Hamas as command and control centers. Meanwhile, the Israeli military has issued more evacuation orders for large swaths of northern Gaza, ordering residents to flee to the already overcrowded humanitarian zone in Al-Mawasi. Palestinians and United Nations officials say no place in the enclave is safe, including the humanitarian zones where Israeli missiles have hit several times. Now talking sports, head coach Augustine Oguava has called Captain William Ekong, Rev of the moment Ademola Lookman, informed winger Moses Simon and 20 other players this month's home and away 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying battle with the Mediterranean Knights of Libya. Reigning Africa Player of the Year Victor Osimhen is excluded on grounds of injury, just as South Africa's based centre-back Olisanda, but defender Bright Osayi Samuel makes his way back after missing the duels with Benin Republic and Rwanda last month. And informed playmaker Chidera Ejuke returns to the fold after many moons. Veteran forward Kelechi Iheanacho is also listed, as well as midfielders Fisaya Dele Bashiru, Al-Hassan Yusuf Abdullahi and Frank Onyeka. The Super Eagles will host the Mediterranean Knights at the Godswill Pabia Stadium in Uyo on Friday, 11th October, before flying to Benghazi to take on the Knights at the Matthias Benina Stadium, 19 kilometers away from Gazi on Tuesday, 15th October. All the players are expected to report in Uyo on Monday, 7th October. And that's the news at 7. Just before we go, let's take another look at the major stories. We told you that INEC has distributed non-sensitive materials to the 18 local government areas ahead of the governorship election. We also told you that Nigeria has begun Naira crude oil sale to Dangote refinery. FG has issued warning to state governments over indiscriminate mining operations shut down. And from the foreign scene, Israeli authorities have ordered more evacuations as school died in Gaza school mosque attack. And that's the news at 7. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Good evening.